Hello and welcome. I am the Imperishable, and on today's episode, we're going to have a look at the FAQ and errata and see how it has affected the Tomb Kings. Before we deep dive straight into it, overall, it's a massive shake-up. It's how the meta is going to be completely different, I think. Magic has had a major overhaul, seeing things get halved in the potency of how many extra you get, the wizard levels changing, the amount of spells you cast. So certain armies that are able to get 5 spells can only now cast 4 if they're level 4. And our pluses to cast. That's a big thing there. On to kind of the more combat-y thing. Infantry have gone up. Just normal, regular and heavy infantry have gone up. You're getting parry saves, so +1 to your armor saves. You're fighting in 2 ranks. You're going in 3 ranks with spears. There's lots of going about there. Another big change is the challenge. So if you're in a challenge, you fight at your initiative step. If, let's say, you kill the guy before your dragon or your mount or your stomps happen, they are wasted. Next thing also is the impact hits. aka if I charge in, if you have a heavy chariot, you can look to do the impact hits on the unit, challenge out, get some more combat red. So I think heavy chariots are going to see a play there. So after we've dived into the overall kind of erratas and how big things are going to affect how the Tomb Kings play, we're also going to have a look at the Tomb Kings specific ones and then some army lists and trying to think of where I think I'm going to push towards depending on how I play. So let's get into the errata. So jumping straight in, it goes straight into the first thing is about close order. So close order, you need a unit strength of 10. So this is quite big for you Shabdi, because it means that usually if I have 2 models left, I get my +1 combat rares. It means I can stand up versus feeling I need 4 models now. Okay, this is really big. You need 4 models to get that +1 combat rares. It also means dragons, monsters, creatures, behemoths are basically all lost except Chaos Dragon. Going straight into it all, it's mainly our spells here, and we'll jump into the cult straight after. So vortexes have changed. They are now, you dispel from the vortex and not the wizards if you want to get your wizardly dispel. So they are how I used to play with going out, chucking out a spiritual vortex and flying back. Doesn't really happen anymore. However, it's still harder to dispel. To casting our spells, however, it's the same when we get to the spell. You half your wizard level rounding up. So if I'm level 4, I get +2. Level 3, I still only get +2. So you're going to see a lot more level 3s. For the points cost, you still get +2. I think the biggest thing you're going to see is level 1s and 2s. Because I'm already thinking a level 1 illusion for me is 55 points. I chuck him into a unit of skeleton warriors. I look to get, obviously I'm only +1 to cast. It's only an 8 to cast, so I need 7. If I've got a casket, I get another +1. So that's 2 +2 to it. I need a 6 on dice, and now I've got a cheap -1 to hit on basically any unit I want. And I think this kind of goes into the looking at Tomb Guard, looking at big brick of skeleton warriors, making them harder to be hurt, and then being able to hit back with loads of attacks. However, a big change is the miscast. So on an 8 or 9 now, it used to be that the spell went off and there's no more spells this turn. However, now 8 or 9 changes it to, instead of it being every wizard can't cast, it's just this wizard. So I think this is a good change. I like this. You still get a spell off on the small thing. The wizard can't cast, but the rest can. So I quite like this. So for me, coming from a cult mind, my miscasts aren't as scary anymore. It's only that 10 up that I'm worried about. Looking on the dispel, however, once again, a big change to it. So you can't do it if you're fleeing or in combat unless your unit has been targeted. So if, let's say I'm in combat, you target me with an assailment, I'm able to use my dispel, wizardly dispel. If you target me with a plague of rust when I'm in combat, I'm allowed to do it. I like this. It's a bit of a thematic change. I wouldn't just stand there and let you cast Hammer Hand on me. I would try and stop it. Like with the casting, dispelling has also changed, where you've halved it rounding up, so level 4 just dispels at a +2. And why this is massive is when we get to it, some spells have changed and become a bit easier to cast because of this. Overall, I think the difficulty has gone up overall. Is stuff that gives you plus to cast or dispel are massive. So we're already talking in the Team Wales chat, we're talking about a Wood Elf level 1 with the Oaken Staff. So that's already dispelling it higher with rerolls or 3d6 dice, and it makes it a lot better. We've seen Beastmen, they'll be able to still, with their vial, their new Army with Me with the Herdstone, a Jagged Knife, you still can get to +5 to cast. And at that point, you're basically not going to be able to dispel. The main thing is those big spells that require 11 plus or 10 plus still need a 5 or 6. So you might still roll low. I think this is a positive way for the game. Coming from a cult and trying to win with the cult. Major hit there. But I think it's better for the forwards of the game. I think it's getting a bit oppressive that I was getting +8 on my cast. So I just didn't need a double 1. Most of the time I rolled it, you'll need a double 6. So I just got my spells. I was fair game. I was loving life. It made it very hard for your opponent. But now likewise, I think it made it fairer, a bit more better. And when we look at certain items, so the Infernal Puppet has changed. That's now only 15 inches. So I'm now not fully scared of it. There has been some balances there. The one thing you won't see about magic is magic resistance. That hasn't changed. I think that's going to be a very important commodity now. If you're looking at dwarves, their anvils now dispel at a +3 to the dispel. So they already just need to match you. Dwarves are at MR1 across the board as a minimum. So it's harder for you to get off. And then they only have to roll 1 less than you. You start looking at the Master Rune of Calm, -2 to your spells. I'm already thinking dwarves going to be really hard to deal with magic. You'll have to just deal with them in the combat phase at this point. Once again, thematically, that's what they do. Warriors of Chaos. Every unit's going to have a Brazen Collar. 20 points for -2. Good luck getting the spell off. Oh, I've still got my level 4, so I may be able to stop you. So I wish they change or turn down magic res, potentially, to see how that goes. Okay, first into our kind of good fighting things. Fighting rank now. It's not actually here, but the idea is fighting rank now for infantry. Oh no, sorry, this fighting rank change is to stop Limehammer. If you're in the fighting rank, you have to be within your movement range to actually fight. So if I've got a 30-man unit and you clip me over here, the far guys aren't going to get their attacks in because they're too far away. You have to be within their movement. So it does limit Linehammer, so it doesn't. You shouldn't see these 30-man long things with great weapons all getting to attack. It's now just those ones nearby. So getting on those flank charges or just edging in are going to be quite good. Likewise, with supporting attack, they also have to be within the movement range as well, equal to the movement of the enemy unit. Yes, within my movement. So my Skeleton Warriors, they'll be able to fight 3 deep. They have to just be within 4. So the ones on the far rank might not get in, so I might lose an attack there. Impact hits. There's a big change here for impact hits. So the idea that they happen before challenges. So they're very first. They're not even at initiative 10. They fight before anything. So someone can't just challenge and stop your impact hits. You can hit through. Frenzy has changed slightly, that you only get it if you charge or follow up. So if you hold, etc., or be charged, you don't get the +1. Impetuous is now just a leadership test. This is massive. I'm saying a lot of things massive because it all is. But I really like this. I feel this is better because the idea of, I think lore-wise, I'm ready to go. I want to fight. It's down on my leadership. I might not listen to my general kind of thing. Or if I've got a high-speaking general, he might be able to hold me. So changing it to a leadership test, I think is better. You're going to start seeing, I think, Errant Crusades, because I think that's quite a good army. It's just the Impetuous lets it down. So this is the start now of the death of the Poison Brick. So large target now just lets you shoot an extra rank at it. So it's the front 2 ranks and shoot. Unless you're on a hill, it's 3 ranks. So my big unit, 47 archers versus that large target, I can't do that anymore. I think it's correct way of going. The Poison Bricks are just a bit stupid, a bit oppressive. Like mine's 250 points and it can kill quite a lot of stuff. I've raised it back up. It's a big brick to hold. And then the second part is poison attack. So they now no longer hold it within 6. So the Poison Brick now, as soon as I roll a 6, I wounded you. Now, there's a bit of contention of how it's worded. I make a little pool of how many 6s I've got. And then when I go to wounds, I roll my dice. Or I roll those dice and I add +2 to it. So Once again, versus the big stuff that requires 6s to win over, you're ruling on 4s. So it basically makes it +2 to win. What helps quite a lot, it was quite nice, is if you're versus really weak stuff. So if I'm poisoning into a T3, I win you on 2s. T4, I win you on 2s, because I get that +2 kind of thing. So those are quite nice. But there's a bit of contention how this works. But this is the next big change. So magics has been changed. Poison bricks, you won't see them more. You won't see Bruce with 90 poison archers. You won't see myself with 50 poison archers. That is now gone, in my opinion. Regeneration has a slight tweak. So you find out the damage and then you roll it. Someone has rightly said it is now like a feel no pain from 40k. So, my Ushabti 2 I wound you with my Ushabti. You don't roll once to try and block all 2. You roll twice to try and block some of it. So there's swings and roundabouts. Sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that's great for Ushabti. Because the amount of times I see someone roll that 5 up and block 2 damage. But now, I bet what I'll see is they'll roll 2 dice and they'll roll 1 5 up. So they only block the 1 damage. Whereas, if they failed that 5 up initially, they're taking 2 wounds. I don't think this is going to change massively. It's definitely going to change certain things, and some stuff is going to get better. I like it for my Ushabti bows. The amount of times I've had someone just, oh yeah, 5 up regen, 5 up regen. I'm like, that's annoying. Stuff like Ogre Blade goes up as well, because you go in, they regen it. Yes, you get your combat res, and I did D3. I did 3 wounds. Well, actually, if they roll 3 dice, they might have held 2, and that might actually kill the guy or do it onto the big monsters. I think this is a nerf to monsters, this, and it might help others. Vanguard, you can't charge afterwards, so no Tomb Scorpions going up and charging. Big defense versus the Brett's Vanguard banner, which is nice. Stomp attacks, it's just at initiative 1, they just fight last kind of thing. Stupidity changes, so if you fail, you can't move, can't shield cast, can't attempt the Wizard Dispel, and must hold. You are basically useless. I would prefer it if they still moved their full distance, because that's what they would have done. It's like what Trolls do, just walk dead straight, but then they can't do anything else. And now into the big changes for combat is all here. So regular infantry and heavy infantry will all have the same. So press for battle, basically this means if you are charged, you fight in 2 ranks. If you charge, you don't. Massed infantry, if I outnumber you, out unit strength you, so if you charge me on with some knights, you're unit strength 10, I'm unit strength 30, I get another +1 combat res. So the idea is these bricks probably aren't moving anywhere. And then parry, if I use a shield and a hand weapon, I get +1 to my arm save. So this is where I'm kind of pushing, Tomb Guards, you know, I get 2 ranks of fighting. I could go for the extra attacks on my extra attacks, so the front rank get loads more. I get a 4 up save. If I get Earthen Ramparts on them, I've got 4 up, 5 up, 6 up. And then I get my 20 attacks back on you. Strength 4 -1. I don't know. I'm wondering that. Or do I wonder, should I keep my Halberd for the Strength 5 -1? I like this. This is what I think everyone's been talking about. They want this back in. It starts making it more like Warhammer. So when I get charged by a thing of knights, I don't just use my front rank and can't fight. They've got to clear through 20, at least I maybe get some wounds back. If I've done hand weapon shield, I get that +1 armor save. So lances, most stuff will get save against. The big winners here are your heavy infantry. So once again, Chaos Warriors, big bricks of Chaos Warriors for scoring. So match players now made it core scoring, unit strength 10, so big blocks of infantry. Dwarves, once again, they're not going to get touched by magic. They're going to have 3 ups across the board. They're fighting in 2 ranks. They're T4 base. It is now the time of the infantryman, it seems. Doesn't seem too much. Enemy shooting. Okay, so currently, or before the errata, you can have chariots and units, and there's no way you can hit them. Even if you hit them with cannonball, they can look out, sir. Now it's changed that you have to have the same unit type. So if I have a chariot and a big brick of infantry, you are able to declare the chariot because it is a different unit type. So if you had a chariot in a unit thing, I've got 10 Ushabti, I'm going to shoot your character. I'm going to clear that out. Same with a cannonball. They're able to hit, go through. you cannot look out, sir. You have to have the same troop type as the character. So I think the big thing here is to stop chariots into units. You can still do it, but if you're up versus war machines, your chariot's got no defense bar its ward and regen. There's this kind of stuff here, which I think is quite big. I'm still going to test the chariot and some Tomb Guard brick just to give the extra wounds. I've still put potentially armor rages on it and still a ward save on it, so I'm still triple save, 5 up regen kind of thing. So careful about this. If someone's got a chariot in a unit or even a horseman in a unit, so I've seen lots of spectral skeleton season infantry, you can target them. Onto characters and mounts. This is the thing that challenges and mounts. So if your guy on top kills you before the dragon can attack, before its initiative step or anything else, let's say you had little Griblies on there and whatnot, nothing else can fight. When the guy's dead, you can't see punching it into the ground. So unless your guy's got an ogre blades and it's versus a multi-wound thing, or someone's got 8 attacks or something, the likelihood is they're not going to max out their combat race. Potentially, you might want to, I was going to say, hoping they regen it, but if they're smart enough, they'll just accept it to die. But this is the end of just sending in dragons. You don't even need like War Banner anymore. You don't even need a BSB. You just need a champion. He'll tank, he'll die, he'll take 4 wounds, cool. I've got unit strength, I've got combat risk 5 because I've got 3 things. A banner and a close order. You don't have close order anymore, so I win by 1. I beat you. See you later. You can't just send characters in solo anymore. You've got to go in with something, either for them to take the challenge or for you to get into them. Flails had a big nerf, really big nerf personally. Flails, you only get the strength if you charged. Same with the Armor Bane. I'm not a fan of this. I was a big fan of flails on my characters. Strength 6 -2, 3 attacks on the first round of combat. It's a bit sad. Halberds have got a buff. So if you charge with them, you go AP2. I quite like that. So Tomb Guard chariots, they're AP2 on the charge. There's 3 or 4 attacks each on them. Pretty nice. Morning Stars get the same thing as flails. They're a bit like that. Lancers, is there any changes here? A lance going to be used during the turn in which the wield a charge. Oh, and it can only hit something that you charge. So if you charge in or overrun in, and then on my turn I charge in with, let's say, a Necrosphinx, you cannot use your lances against the Necrosphinx because you didn't charge it. So that is a good way. So if they go into infantry or overrun into infantry, if you hit into the flank with something else, they can't hit you back with their lances. They'll have to use their hand weapons. Something a bit of a change here. So more than one combat weapon. So obviously some people have halberds and weapons and whatnot. If we're engaged in combat and we've got 2 of them, you have to choose at that point. And I believe, I haven't checked further down, but I believe the other ones disappeared. Where the idea of if you're falling back or fleeing, you don't have time to change it. It feels like this time you always will get to choose. This time I'll go for my halberd. This time I'll go for my hand weapon, kind of thing. And it's because of every chosen fight combat sub phase. Ooh, maybe not. I don't know. That one's a bit peculiar. Maximum armor values. This is new. I like this. Infantry and cav can have 2+. Anything else, chariots and monster war machine, max can have a 3+ armor. So you're not seeing 2/5/5 any dragons anymore. You'll still see 3/5/5 potentially. High elves can still get a 3/5/5. Dead or fled. This is nice. You get, if something is below 25% of starting wounds or unit strength, you get 50% of the points. Nice, good. That's what we're playing in Black Country. I think it's correct. Now changes to spells. Pillar of Flame now goes in a random direction because it's got the word scatter. Arcane Urgency's dropped down to 9. Calicus Flames dropped down to 8. These drops are all because of, obviously, we're not +4 anymore. Sea of Shadows down to 8, which is quite nice. Demonic Vessel down to 9. Vortex of Chaos. I think it's just the idea that they all say the same thing. They scatter. Does this one still have any friends or foe? Yeah, cool. Final Gateway down to 9. Flame Sword down to 7. Summon Elemental Spirit. This one now, I think this one just is the same, but it's just the idea of it's scattered and then making sure it says the same. Urban Ramparts down to a 9+. I think it's going to be a crucial spell for the Tomb Kings. I want to play on my big bricks because I think it's down in FAQ. Urban Ramparts now stops stomps and impact hits, because in the FAQ that will go down lower, it states that it's imagine there is a real magical thing. It's not like they've got a shield, there is something physically stopping you. So it drops their initiative, it drops their they don't get stomps, they don't get impact hits. So a big brick of Tomb Guards who are initiative 2 or 3, you bump them up with a Prince, with an Urban Ramparts. I am going to be fighting before most things. You can also get the banner of -1 initiative, so you drop them down. I hit you with all my halberd attacks, and there's a good chance I kill you back because I'm stroke 5 -1. You're not getting a lot of attack, so this is very anti-cav for the Tomb Kings. I love Urban Ramparts. I'm good with the change. TMP, it's now completely within the wholly within 12. What we've done in Black Country, it's smart. A couple more spell drops. Shield Staffy down to 8. Confounding Convocation down to 8, which I think now is a decent spell. Yeah, it's still not amazing, but because it makes something stupid, it's worth it because they can't do anything. If you can get out on a wizards, get it, run away kind of thing, and they fail that stupidity, they can't do anything, they are stuck. I would be looking to play that, or even versus a big thing of infantry, or you go down the next mountain route, you try and mess up their leadership, you get close, they become stupid right in front of you, and then they can't do anything for basically the rest of the game. Miles Mirage down to a 10+. It's still going to be hard to do. We'll talk about how the cult, what they can get to. I feel like this is the spell that is going to be painful to get. I think Column and Crystal is still viable. It's at 10. Definitely Cabal down to 8. Spiritual Vortex, same again. Yeah, big thing here is it's within one of them, so you can't overlap and so you can't get -2. Custody is down to 9. Nothing really there. Ogre Raid up to 75 points. Okay, this is big. It means you can't have that and a ward, basically. Certain things that already have awards added into them, it's not a major change. Like, I'm thinking the Chaos Dragon, they can have an Ogre Blade, Blazing Collar, and still one favour for 100 points. But obviously, you're probably not playing those that because that's over 500 points. Ruby Ring, it's now 35 points, which may not seem a lot, 5 points. It's just awkward now. You can't do that and something for a cheap level 50. You can't do this and something like a 60, 70 point item anymore. I think there's quite a thing that will mess up quite a few people, and already I think it's on the chopping block. You cast it now instead of a bound level, power level 1, so you need 7 to cast. It's not great. It's alright with a cult or with a casket because it goes back up to a 2. And it's just changed as a quick reference. So overall, it's a big changes to Inf, Magic, and Challenges. I think Monsters, you're not going to see them as much, or if you do, they've got to be very skirmishy and play more of supports. So, yeah. So into actually the Tomb Kings erratas and changes. So Skeleton Chariots changed to 41 points. Page 141, yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't see it. Casket is now bound level 2, so versus a level 4, we've actually gone +1 against it because we roll at the same thing. They've got to beat our dice this time, whereas a level 4 didn't. The Remain in Play spell we need 6 to cast, so it's alright. Flare of Skulls, yeah, the thing I don't like. Only applies against anyone that would have charged this turn, so that's a +3 strength. Not great. And the Incantation of Desiccation is changed to a 9+. That's that spell. That's the -1 toughness, movement, etc. And then into the cult. Sad day for the cult. Cult magic is gone. So it's changed completely how we take wounds, and I'm going to have to do a new video on that. It seems you can only do it once per turn, is the key thing. So I can't do it on every spell. This is the bit I don't like. I wish that went. I think it'd still be fine. You nominate a friendly, normal thing, swarm, watcher, infantry, cavalry, kind of big animus thing. They take a wound, I get +1 to cast. So you won't see swarms anymore. I don't see a point on them because their whole point there was the battery to try and keep them alive. it's like, for me, it's 120 points. Now I can put it to other stuff, so they're gone for me. Once per turn, Cult Magic Phase took a long time because of that. This should speed it up, but you're going to have to make the decision. I personally think, and I'll show you with the build I'm going to go for, I think, with an Illusion Wizard, it's just caring about my Illusion Wizard. He gets 2, because I'm going to make him a level 3. There's no point for a level 4 really anymore, because I do the Fly spell, I do Column of Crystal and Miasmic Mirage, so it gets me into the right places with my Lore Familiar. So I get +2 because I'm a level 3. I get +1 for this one. I get +1 from the casket. And I'm going to give him a tablet for +5. Or maybe 2 tablets and you do it that way. I think that's the way you do it. You still get a +4 to cast, which is big. That's just anything with MR2. You've only got 2. It's an 8 to get Miasmic Mirage off at that point. It's 8. It's still 6 to get a thing out. It's going to be hard. I don't think you can rely on the ability of control anymore with Cult. That was made him really good. So I was able to shut down quite a few things. Someone misplayed or overran in the right play I can set up. I think that's going to stop it. But I don't think you're going to need it as much for the control side, because I don't think you're going to see these unkillable dragons coming into you, because you just try and put a big block of infantry in front of them for them to deal with, because they can't just never beat it. Big monsters or big hard-hitting things you could still probably go for. But like, it's a shame. I think the only change I wish they didn't have is this once per turn. I'm fine with taking the wounds and getting +1. Getting +3, getting +8 to cast is ridiculous. But still to be able to go to +4 once a turn regularly is pretty good. To get that +1 for the tablet, just when you need it, I think is crucial as well. Flail, Conquer Kings. Oh look, it's another Flail that you only get it versus the wielder. And this is on the calf, for Christ's sakes. I'm pretty sure this is the calf's weapon. Just leave him be. No one plays him. I'm wondering if you can play with him, and we'll talk through that now. And then finally, Stone Shaper changes it until the start of next command phase to the end of this turn. So you only get it on your turn. Not great. It's alright if you're already in combat. Don't really care about Stone Shaper anymore. It's a bit sad. So yeah, overall, big changes. Magic changes. Cult's going to have a different match build up. We'll have a look at that there. Infantry, baby. Load of Skeleton Warriors. 40 of them with a banner, Nakaran Phalanx, and a champ and a musician. I think it is 185. That's quite cheap. Go for 2 of those bricks on your flanks. If you're playing domination in your tournament, that's your 2 corners there. They're not going out. Unit strength, that's 350 points to get more points back. I think that's pretty clever, pretty good. I like that. And obviously, when you've got to hold stuff, trying to just push them up, you've got most unit strength. So, let's go have a look at some list building ideas, see how we think it will look at here. Oh, what's going on here? That's what I want it to look like. Okay, so ignore them. So, first thing, I'm going to have a look at just the cults. I'm going to stick with my areas, the cults. I don't think you'll see many level 3s, any level 4s anymore. How I would look to run my illusion would be something like this. A level 3 illusion. You give him the Lore Familiar. Where is it? And potentially you just give him a tablet. Maybe 2. You might even want to just try and give him something fly already. I wouldn't, maybe. I think I went like this. 210 points. You gain your 3 spells that you care about. You keep him near some Ushabti. You've got the speed that you can get into. You choose the 3 spells for illusion, which you would want to choose Shimmering Dragon to make you fly 10. Pretty good. Column of Crystal, still a 10+. And then you go Mars Mirage, just to change to a 10+ now. I think that's just the 3 you do. That's your main wizards. I then personally think, and what you're seeing a lot, is you just go those level 1 illusions. And you go for just Glittering Robe. If I've got a big brick of infantry, which you're going to start seeing, so a big brick of Tomb Guard, Skeleton Warriors, this Mortuary Priest just holds. Even if it's just, okay, they're going to try and kill your Mort Priest. Okay, cool, I understand it, but shooting, -1, any ballistic skill shooting is just going to get crushed. Stuff like caskets are going to boost this up. So I think I look like this. I probably do still go for a level 4 Elementalism. and I just run them naked, probably. Ruby Ring was really good. Power level 1, I don't know how I feel about it, 35 points. It might still have play if you've got anything versus like Ethereal, it helps out. Yeah, something I love, Scroll Transmogrification. It's going to come in, maybe. Come in clutch. You start seeing the small level 1s and 2s, and technically this works on bound spells. If you're up versus another casket, make that casket a frog. A whole frog. Okay, that's really annoying. But I probably would do something like this, and then you have one with BSB, you take a couple more level 1s, and you just go for the resin. You go for you Shabdi shooting in the cult now. I still take my casket. I still take my 2 Tomb Scorpions with ambush probably. Potentially even now go for that terrace below. Can really mess up some people. And then in your core, you go a big unit with your Shabdi probably. I would probably go something like 7 with a champion with great bows. You don't take any swarms. There's no point personally. Take some scarce and horse archers, probably 2 units of them. You then take a big unit of scarce and warriors. Don't even give them spears. Someone did the math versus some blood knights and did 1 wound back. I go like this, champion, give them that if you want. And then finish off with some more Shabdi. 31 over. I'll just do this very fast. I do that, go a musician. Go something like that. Okay? I've still got level 4 elementalism. I could potentially drop the Ruby Ring, get some more bodies in. I've got brick to hold. I've got a 21 unit strength core unit that can score, and it's Ushabdi. I've got 2 more 5-mans Ushabdi. Oh, they don't have agents. I need agents. You always need agents. That's really annoying. There's going to be 3 more of these on there. Go something like that. You've got a brick to hold. You put Urban Ramparts in. You chuck in that level 1 illusion just to be that buffer. You potentially could just chuck in the BSB there as well. Or you could even drop this. And the idea is you just play as a turtling brick that just moves up the boards very slowly. You're shooting things off with your Shabdi. You're doing your reserve move spells on your level 4. So you still get some +3 for that cast. Yeah, I think you'll drop the magic. Or you can even drop even further. I'm not against it. Just keep the level 3 illusion. You could potentially just drop these guys. And then you just get, I know it seems mad, you just get another 3 Shabdi. Because some units that are playing now, you rule of 3, they would stop it. Or you just make this 3 units of 21. I think Ushabdi are going to be ace in this new meta. I thought they were the best unit in the game. I think they're going to be potentially even better. You're going to see less big things coming about. If you are seeing big things, it might just be monstrous creatures like Necrosphinxes. Your Shabdi can bring those down. You've got champions to hold it, and then you just rest them back up. They can hold versus dragons. They really can hold versus dragons now because the combat res, how much they're losing per turn. They get into combat. Yes, everyone talks about our bricks are back. I get 15 attacks at strength 4 -1, mate. I'm T4, 3 wounds. You probably aren't going to get through me. Potentially, depending on how many bricks you get, maybe bring a unit with ritual blades. Go a big unit of core in the middle. And that's your charge me, I dare you. See what happens. I've got 8 of them. Maybe bring that Shaper in. Drop this unit, Scares and Warriors. But I think if you're going to go cult, you go your Shabdi spam. You res them up. Potentially you do drop it down again. But you just get some more reses in. And you use this priest just as that last minute. I'm going to try and stop you. Keep him close to the centre. Boost up as much as you can. That's how I would play the cult. Something like this, or drop that other 5-man and then go for some more wizards just to up my resin kind of thing. Maybe just go like 3 level 1s and just stick one near them. Okay, I get 2 wounds back, I get 3 wounds back. I res up all my things. Don't worry about swarms anymore. I don't think you'll see play with them anymore because you can't do anything really with them. think that's how I would play a cult. If we're now thinking Grand Army, and this is where I'm kind of more pushing towards potentially, I still go this, an illusion guy. I would probably still look to try and get a casket in to give them -1 to hit, because getting your big brick -2 to hit is good. An unkillable dragon is still an option, but I don't know. It's a lot of points. It can't do stuff on its own, but let's see what happens here. So we get the Corrupted Bone Dragon. You do the same builds, so you still go Armor of Ages, you go Enchanted, Talisman of Protection, you go Biting Blades, okay? Still really good, still not going to get hurt basically at all. He's your general. You go for, I would probably try and get a Royal Herald in. A big thing what I would be pushing for is a Tomb Prince. And then I choose a level 3, you don't need level 4 anymore. A level 3 High Priest, Elementalism with Lore Familiar. That's what I would go. And with this 173 left points, you bump up your Royal Heralds, you make them your BSB, you get your Prince, you try and give him some buffing armaments just to try and keep him in mind, maybe a Warding Splint. So he's got triple save all the time with a shield. I don't know, something along the lines of that. There's 110 points left. You then put that into your Royal Heralds and you boost them up how you want them to do. In core, there's 2 ways you can go, and I don't know which one is better. You either go for a big brick of Skeleton Warriors or you go big brick of Tomb Guards. So, still once again, I'm going to grab myself some of my Skeleton Horse Archers because I think they're great. They'll be really good for scoring. I'm going to go for the big thing here. So I'm just going to keep a 12. I'm actually going to go, not them, I'm going to go Skeleton Warriors. I'm going to go 12 for scoring purposes and just put them in the backfield, hold that corner, do whatever. And then for the rest of my core points, I'm going to go Tomb Guard. I'm thinking 8 wide, 3 deep. You could have about 3 characters in there. Or do you go 9 wide, 3 deep? So you go 24 guys. Tomb Captain, Standard Bearer, potentially Musician as well here. I like the idea of the Cannon Phalanx. Just getting that one time, I'm not going to give ground. But you can also do this for free by just putting your wizard directly behind them and just holding them there. But you might not be there. So, see how you feel. In here, or actually that's what I would probably give my Royal Heralds. I'll give him a Spell Eater X. It's a decent weapon for him. Maybe this changes. It's just get MR2. Make this unit so you can't hurt me with magic guns. Magic standards, I would go for Desert Wind is pretty good. Icon Rakaf is the reroll. I like the Icon Sacred Eye. But you could also do, I don't like how it's 45 points, the -1 lead initiative. So the idea is we're going to up ourselves with the Prince by D3. And then we are going to hopefully fight before them, because Tomb Guard are initiative 4 or 5 this time. You put Earthen Ramparts on. If you don't get Earthen Ramparts, maybe this is where you go, or actually I'll go for the Sigil or that. But maybe I think Sacred Eye here. Commands, I don't know what I would put on here. Potentially this is where you just put a Libyan a lodestone in. But that's your core. There we go. And then with the nearly 500 points left, there we go. And you get 2 Shabda units. Not with Retro Rays, with Great Bows. They're there to support you. They're there to just give you that little bit of oomph. You don't have a lot of moving pieces. This is if you want to play with the big unkillable dragon. So you play them together, I think. I want Tomb Guard to be really good here. And I think how you do it is you bump them up with that to just make them a, you can't touch this unit. But then you try and force them into it by using your Shabdies on the flank to kind of push them in, keep them in, kind of thing. Because Tomb Guard brick will probably hold. Your Skeleton Warriors are there to score. Same with your Skeleton Horse Archers, they're there to potentially run over, nab that objective at the end of my turn. Unit strength 14. But yeah, because this is going to have a unit strength of 27. Because you go 9 wide, 3 deep. Have I given them halberds? Haven't given them halberds. Maybe I need to give them halberds. Oh, there we go. 1999. Maybe just get rid of the Spell Eater Axe. Try and change this up a bit. But my idea was... Oh, actually, Armor Meteor Iron. That's really strong for them, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. This is just the first draft. I think the premise now in Grand Army is... I think the Double Dragon, Double Necrosis just doesn't work as much anymore. Maybe it still does. And instead of getting... I think Poison's gone. Instead of putting the Poison mana on, you just put that level 1 in. I just like the idea of... I'm -2 to hit within my big brick. Can't shoot me off. I've got you Shabty to my side shooting off. I like this kind of idea, and it means you start playing more like that traditional one where you get your Tomb Guard in, you've got a big brick. Or what you basically do is you just switch this to a big unit of Skeleton Warriors. I say these are just some first drafts. Onto the Royal Host, however, I wouldn't even bother. I would bother with a Mortuary Priest. Once again, illusion. I'll just do one of them. That's all I would do. I would go for potentially Tomb Kings on chariots. But one of them I would do is something that looks like this. So I take a chariot. Let's just say he's my general. Give him the eyes. Is give him the armour. Where is it? The Royal Mantle. Okay, this is what I would give him. Because what that does, it enables everything within 6 to have my will be done. Because what you then do in your core, you have this big group, once again, a big unit of Tomb Guards. And you make them movement 7 without needing to have a character in there. Or you just run a Tomb King in there yourself, you save yourself 40 points. But I like the idea of a fast-moving Tomb King. Or you just put this guy on foot in there with that, with the Royal Mantle. And then you have something next to it that can also go up hard and fast on the turn it needs it. So maybe some Tomb Guard chariots, but you'll probably have a Tomb Guard. Anything that you feel is going to be on its own and needs that speed to get up. So maybe even something like Necropolis Knights, getting them up to movement 10 on that first turn. They've got Swift Strike. That's a 19-inch charge range. They have plenty of attacks. They've all got halberds. Oh no, they've got cavalry spears. Oh, if only they had halberds. Can you do them halberds? No, you can't. That's annoying. So I was going to give them that. But the idea is you've got volumes of attacks going 10 inches. And then on the turn that you need it, you drop it to initiative. And they're all fighting first. And your whole army, probably your front rank, can hold. So this is something I quite like the look of, is using that. Or another way of doing it is you run it with Cetra. Because he has that innately. Okay, he gives it out. He's a big footprint. You don't have him in a unit. You keep him there. You have Tomb Guard to one side, pressing up 7 inches. I say you could have Necropolis Knights. You can have a big thing of Tomb Guard chariots going up. Just giving him that bonus. Just trying to see what else would benefit from it. Tomb Scorpions. Going up to that speed 7. I just love the idea of being able to go hard and fast with potentially slow units. You put the illusion in there, you pray you get Glittering Robe off, your -1 to hit, your T4 body, you could potentially have a 4-up save, a 6-up regen, or you go for the halberds when you try and hit them off. This one doesn't have the Urban Ramparts, however, to try and stop your initiative buff. But I think getting your guys going faster, quicker would be great. You could potentially even, in the Tomb Kings over here, nearly for the same points. I might have to find some points elsewhere. Oh no, it works out. Just putting Cetra into this unit. You play him to the sides. You're going hard and fast with some Tomb Guard. Maybe you go some bricks there. These are the types of things I'm thinking of now. Because Magic has changed, you could even in Royal Hosts, I know they're not as good anymore, but you could run these in pairs and go double Tomb King on Dragon. With the idea of, you just run them in a pair. They go together, they hit at the same time. Yeah, you challenge one, but the other one chomps through and I win. Because I've seen someone talk about doing this with what they called Exalted Champions of, not Khorne, of Chaos. You can now put them on a dragon, you can give them a regen, you can give them a triple save, 3 up, 5 up, 5 up on both of them. Yes, they're impetuous for them, but the idea is, they just go together, they hit together, you challenge one, I kill you with the other thing, and you go for it. It's 1,000 points that you can upgrade them to, because everyone talks about this, you can't have 500 points in your unit, whatnot, but even with Armour of Ages, I'll show you, so even with Armour of Ages, Talisman of Protection, and the Biting Blade here, and let's say a Shield and a Rise, I'm only 487. I've got 103 points to put that on the other Tomb King, give him the shield, and then I have 100 points to tough him up. Wouldn't go Ogre Blade, I think that's gone now. Or if you're worried about one getting challenged, this is the time for the Conqueror's Blade. Conqueror's Blade, you go Warding Sprint to get your other 5 up. How many points we got left? We've got 10 points. There's nothing else there. Potion of Speed maybe, because it is a strike last weapon. So if I go charging in, I pop my Potion of Speed. There we go. So now you've got 2 dragons that just fight together. And then you can maybe in the rest of your list just have loads of chariots going on each side and you try and hit hard and fast. But I don't think you need to be worried about magic anymore if you don't have magic yourself. So we've been talking about it on the Wood Elves front. Wild Host seems pretty good there. The Wild Hunt. Cool, I'll just keep my level 1. That's good enough Dispel. I've got level 1 for Dispelling. Alright. I might be able to chop 1 or 2 spells. But I like this change. It's opening up different ways. And these dragons, if they go into something, they're going to do alright, I think. You've got something weird that goes in the challenge and takes that and gets the kill. And then what you do then, if you go to some of these big bricks of infantry who start having infantry characters, you go in, you challenge with him. 5 or 6 is killing blow. I've got 4 attacks. I might do it. I could be weapon skill 7, hitting you on 4s, hitting you on 3s. I just need 1, 5 or 6 to wound, and you die. Yeah, I quite like this kind of idea to it. So maybe this is one way of doing a Royal Host. I think something I'm going to try out is the Grand Army and try and get Tomb Guard to work. I think how they work is with character support. So a Royal Herald, a Prince in there, a Mortuary Priest to give like buffing up there. Maybe get rid of Spell Eater Axe. You still keep a level 3 Elementalism just to do some things there. Maybe you drop the Shabdi and you go double Necrosphinx. So basically what I'm playing at the moment. And maybe they still be good, but I just like the idea of your Shabdi, or you go some other stuff. I think these can be changed out. You might not always have to do the casket for that -1 if you want to try and press your enemy. So that could be 500, 600 points that you try and change elsewhere. Let's say Necropolis Knights potentially could, but I still don't think they're great. Tomb Scorpions, I think they'll be alright. I just think you Shabdi are just so reliable, and I just think they've gotten better. I'd say with the Cult, you just go and shooting. You just shoot. You've got Bricktold scoring. You've got 4 good core scorers here. These guys are fast. These guys are very tough to deal with. 157 points for 33 guys that just won't give ground. Someone who can challenge, a musician. Like, it's hard, it's tough to deal with. So those were my ramblings, looking at the FAQ and the errata, kind of the big changes. Obviously, magic is gone. Well, not gone. It's harder, it's less reliable, it's less oppressive, which is fair. The cult magic has been hurt a lot, but I think now, as I said, you go for the rezzing aspect with loads of wizards. You keep that one good wizard, so for me it's that illusion level 3, to try and control a little bit. Or maybe you go for that elementalism law familiar now. You just bun off the illusion control, you go more Shabdi, you go more shooting. I'm very up for the core Grand Army. I think that could be the better way to play it now. Scarce Warriors look really good. Tomb Guard look really good. Tomb Guard with a Prince in there and an Earthen Ramparts. 20 attacks potentially. I'm fighting first with halberds, strength 5, -1. I've got 5 up wards. I've got 6 up, 5 up, 6 up. You kill some, I bring them back. I've got some hard killing characters that you can't really get rid of. I think it's there. I am still wondering if you start still run chariots and units. See how many people realise that you can target them. See how easy it is to kill them. I think cannons start dealing issues because of the regen change and whatnot. But still, when I res them up still. They get the max res, so maybe. And I'm very up for trying Royal Host with Double Dragon. Even though they change, you just run them next to each other and you just hit together. You're hard and fast with everything else. You get your impacts in as much as you can. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Big changes. We'll see it comes there. Annoying this has come out just before the Black Country, but we'll see what happens. So thank you for watching. I hope you found some knowledge here at Tomb Kings, guys. As I say, those kind of 3 lists were kind of my starting ramblings there. But thank you very much, and ta-ra.